Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Brett Cooper. I was making a lot of videos about women, trashing the draft and trashing the wars and stuff. But there's actually men that are making videos too. It's apparently Gen Z is just pansies. They don't think they should be fighting for the freedoms and the privileges that they have. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
Welcome back to the comment section. I'm Brett Cooper. There's a video that's been circulating over the past few weeks, and you might have seen it. And apparently, the video was originally made a few years ago during the beginning of the Ukraine war, but it got a new wave of popularity after the conflict in Israel and Palestine started. And the video clip is of Biden calling for a draft in 2023. And don't worry, it is fake, but it has sparked some interesting conversations online about what a military draft would be like in 2023. But before we get into this story, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section or off the clock episode. All right, so before I get any further into this video, the following video that I'm about to show you is AI. Just making it very clear, it is not real.
You guys heard her. It's AI. It's fake.
Nobody get freaked out yet. You'll probably quickly notice that Biden is actually articulate and well-spoken in this video, so that should tip you off that this really is not real.
But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
This video was so hard to find. I think once people realized that it was fake, they were wiping it from the internet, but we found it, so let's watch.
Putin's illegal occupation of Kyiv and the impending Chinese blockade of Taiwan has created a two-front national security crisis that requires more troops than the volunteer military can supply.
Literally does not sound like him at all. Legit. Like somebody who can actually speak, who's not geriatric. Can't be real, guys.
I have received guidance from General Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, that the recommended way forward will be to invoke the Selective Service Act. Damn. As is my authority as president.
Terrifying.
The first to be called in a sequence determined by national lottery will be men and women whose 20th birthday falls during calendar year 2023.
Also clear evidence that this is not real. Women are not part of selective service.
Not yet.
We're going to talk about that later, but it's just men right now. So again, not real. Just making everybody feel more comfortable.
Remember, you're not sending your sons and daughters to war. You're sending them to freedom. God.
Really? Sending them to freedom? God damn.
Bless our troops and God bless Ukraine.
Once again, it's not real.
That mother back there is not real.
But it is just so creepy to watch. And then him at the end saying, oh, we're fighting for freedom. No, we would not be fighting for freedom. We're fighting because you are a terrible president that is getting us into these messes over and over again. But hopefully it's not happening. Somebody commented and said, this could become real. Another person said, they cannot have my kids under any circumstances. Apparently, the person who made this video made it to prove a point and to show what could be, what could possibly happen under the Biden administration based on the current state of the world. And it spread like wildfire, with many people seeing clips or headlines thinking that it actually was true. And once everybody stopped freaking out, many started making satirical videos about what the draft would be like if it actually happened now. And it is not pretty. They're a bit funny, but it's also terrifying. Just watch.
Why is everybody
Wait, so this is satirical? These look pretty real to me. I've seen this one.
saying Gen Z is going to get drafted? Like, no, we're not. And you know why I know that? Because we're just going to say no. I understand it was like that.
You see that? They can just say no, guys. Because, refusing a draft isn't a 5 years prison sentence.
In like the 1940s. What else is there to do in 1940 besides shoot people? We have things to do nowadays. We have twerk, be bisexual.
Oh, those are the things to do nowadays, is twerk and bisexual. Like, I guess this is some kind of satirical, because there's no way a person's really like this.
Lie. And we're all
But then again, there probably are men like this.
also like really mentally ill. I have like 6 of these. And finally, like, guns are like so tacky. Like, can you imagine just like pulling up with a gun? Like, that is so embarrassing. Like, what is this? The Revolutionary War? No. Like, let's just chat. There's no need for
So
all the
sad.
like no. No. It's not gonna happen, don't worry.
Now, obviously, this is a tad bit satirical, and he's kind of joking, but he's kind of not. My generation has no interest in doing this. They do not think it's a big deal whatsoever. They're just like, no, we wouldn't go. We wouldn't know what to do. Yeah, because you live a privileged life, because you have never had to think about that before. And also him just saying that he would not go and saying that in 1940 there was nothing better to do than go to war. I'm sorry, we live in the digital age now. You can hide all you want. The government can find you. They are literally listening to you 24/7. They will know where you are.
Dude, every time I talk about something I'm about like close to my phone, I always get freaking ads on my phone of what I just talked about.
They will find you. I don't know how I need to get this through your head. They do not care if you are hiding in your mother's basement. The government has the means to find you.
That
One person
they
said,
do.
if that is our representative of the future, we are doomed.
We're doomed!
Yeah, we certainly are. Another person said, my neighbor didn't even know that you had to answer a jury notice. She thought that she could just ignore it because she was busy. I mean, I kind of
Women.
enjoy people just don't care. Like, oh, the government's going to come for me. Like, try it. Try me. I just won't show up. The repercussions of that are not funny because government overreach, they will hunt you down. They have hunted people down. They will do it again. So it's not funny, but the confidence is a bit inspiring. All right, here's another one.
Gen Z is the wrong generation to threaten with a draft. Not only are we not doing that bullshit, do you really think we scared of the repercussions of not going to war if you get drafted? First of all, y'all don't even have enough prisons to imprison people who don't want to go.
So true. That's somewhat correct.
Secondly, the majority of Gen Z is physically or mentally ill. And if we aren't, we sure will make ourselves. Because as a black man myself, what do I look like fighting for a country that don't give a damn about me?
It really is sad. The fact that my generation is so mentally ill that the military might just be like, oh, we don't want you. Like,
It's true. I actually don't think very many of them would pass that psych eval.
I'm really not in favor of a draft, but that's really not the way I would go about avoiding it. Not a good look for our country, no matter which way you slice it.
It's over. We are screwed.
Somebody said, facts, I'll go get diagnosed just so I can't go. Another person said, I will quite literally not take it seriously. There's literally a trend going around on TikTok right now where people have put together a template and they email it to their family members or their friends, and it's like, you've been drafted, and they put like a government seal on it, and it's all of these like 20-year-old girls who are not even part of selective service. They are not actually eligible to be drafted, but they're like freaking out, crying, calling their moms like, I'm not going. Literally a trend right now. All right, last video.
So 5 years of rent-free living, free food, and no responsibilities
Is that what you call jail? Rent-free living and free food?
versus being immediately obliterated by an AK-47 the moment I set foot on that battlefield. This draft occurs, I'm headed for the hills, baby. I know a place. It has everything I could possibly need except for electricity and cell service, which is going to be perfect because you won't be able to find me. Do I look like somebody who the authorities are going to be chasing after, hunting down because they need me?
No, you're not a school board
You're
parent
not
or a
one,
right-wing
no.
extremist. They actually don't care about you at all.
Yeah.
Go find those people who are so like pro Second Amendment and wear like freaking American flag thongs and all that.
Hey. Just because I'm pro Second Amendment doesn't mean I have an American flag thong. All right? Calm down.
That shit. Like, go find them. They have a concealed carry anyway. They know what they're doing. They've done the classes. Go find them. You don't want me.
This is part where I kind of like somewhat agree now with South Korea and how they send men for 2 years of training just to understand the equipment and understand battle. And women, I think that's what we're sorely lacking here, because some of these motherfuckers need to go to boot camp and experience how hard life is.
Fighting for this country. I promise you that.
You're not wrong. That's not the military that we want. But in 2023, guys, that's kind of what we're stuck with. We already know what the military is doing. We know what the troops look like.
We're already lacking so many military troops, from all branches. So those are going to be guys that filling in those spots.
Things aren't great. And at least he's self-aware and being honest, I guess. But I really struggle to find this genuinely funny because at the same time, he's not joking. He does not take this seriously whatsoever. And this is something that we need to take seriously. We are so comfortable with this safe haven world that we have grown up in, that my generation can't even wrap their brain around the fact that this could happen again, and it could happen to them.
Just out of curiosity, we could use the cards to buy gum, then immediately quit the army, right?
You know, playing you off for chumps.
It does not discriminate based on whether you are this or whether you are pro-Second Amendment and wear American flag thongs. It just doesn't. We do not know what real war is. We have watched various global conflicts take place.
This is true. Americans nowadays do not know what real war is, at least other than like probably the vets that went to Afghanistan. Those would probably be the ones that truly do know. I came from a war-torn country. I wanted to join the military. I even applied. I took the test and I ranked top 10%. So I was going to get a scholarship. My dad was livid. I didn't tell him. I went to the recruiter. The recruiter came to my donut shop. And my dad was like, who the fuck and why the fuck is he here? And he started talking to my dad, and my dad was fucking pissed. He was like, I went to a country, I fought in a war and came to this country to give you a better life. You better not be going to go fight in another fucking war. That's how my dad thought. And his thought process isn't incorrect. You know, like what he's seen in war and the people that he's lost in his life through war is not a fun thing. And it's not something you would want to subjugate your kids to. So kids nowadays truly don't know. They have been coddled to the point where they don't even understand what true conflict is and why it's necessary to protect yourself.
Far away from us, and we've been able to judge them, have takes on them, analyze them from a very privileged point of view. But normal, non-military Americans have never actually faced the consequences. We have never physically been involved. Somebody commented and said, the civilized world is so far detached from this concept and therefore soft, too soft. The draft would be horrible, but it would change the mindset of generations and bring them back to reality. That reminds me of that. It's not really a meme, but it's that picture that always circulates every couple of months where it's like, good men create good times create like soft men create bad times create good times.
It is like one of the more true things in the world right there. That particular statement or meme or whatever you want to call it. We're in that good times right now. And we're starting to go into the hard times. So
times like we are in a bad times that need to create good men. Our young men should not have to die for our government's wars. You only need a draft when people are not driven to enlist, when they do not want to enlist themselves. And they aren't enlisting right now because we don't have anything that can unify us or that people want to fight for and lay down their life for. These days, America...
Yeah, I mean, the government's just doing everything there possible to gain as much power and to take away from us citizens as possible. Especially men. So the men here feel even less likely to want to fight for this country.
Americans wouldn't actually be fighting for freedom. We would be fighting because of government corruption and because we have a geriatric president who has the worst foreign policy I have ever seen. That is why we are fighting. No way in hell should that happen. Like, we definitely need to protect ourselves from this man and from our government, but it shouldn't have to be with a draft. Maybe it should be with Birch Gold. Yet again, we are facing the threat of a government shutdown later, even though the world is possibly going up in flames. Somebody else had a totally different opinion and said, agreed that all the pro-second A people should be the first to be drafted. They love their guns so much, they should get priority in the war queue. And Ian Chiang said, why? They're opposed to foreign intervention.
Exactly.
Very, very true. Very, very true. Somebody else said Gen Z can't even handle a Wi-Fi outage, let alone a draft. Maybe boot camp will teach them the difference between a real problem and a TikTok glitch. Maybe that's the balance. My generation, we all need to go to boot camp. I'll go with you. I don't think we should be drafted because I'm against the draft based on principle because I do not want to die for government corruption, but maybe that would toughen us all up a little bit.
All right, who's not dead? Sound off.
Another person said they have a basic misunderstanding. If you are drafted, then you will serve or be criminally charged. You could run to Canada, but that may not be an option this time. And that is exactly right. It was illegal to skip the draft back in 1940, and God forbid if it ever happened again, it would be illegal to evade it now. Every guy knows this, even the ones in those videos, because if they are American men over the age of 18, they have already signed up for selective service, or as the military calls it, an insurance policy, which I personally find disgusting. They literally say it right here: maintaining the selective service system and draft resignation provides a hedge against unforeseen threats and a relatively low-cost insurance policy against underestimating the maximum level.
We're the low-cost insurance policies, guys. We're the low-cost insurance policies for the government. That's how much they value us.
Of threat we expect our armed forces to face. And while I understand the logic behind this, and I know that we have used it before and many people are in favor of it because, you know, they want to serve their country or they think that it's a good thing, I also think that it's a very noble and good thing to serve your country. But again, these days with our current government, this current administration, I don't trust it.
And that'd be the issue I have too. Like, I love my country. I love this country. It's given me such great things. I would love to fight for it, but I'm not going to fight for a corrupt country that doesn't care for me.
Really is an insurance policy. They are playing with people's lives. They are playing with young men's lives. And I know that a lot of girls don't know anything about this. They don't even know about selective service because we haven't had to know about it. But
yeah, because you guys are privileged.
Every young man in your life does. And even though proposals have been thrown around to get women to be eligible for the draft and for selective service, none have stuck. And of course, that's not an issue that the feminists are getting upset about. I wonder why. Is it funny how the moment push comes to shove, women reject feminism when they actually have to work a 9-to-5, when they realize that the corporate world is not all it's cracked up to be? They're like, why did we actually fight for that?
Exactly.
Like, why did we do that? Oh, we have to be drafted? Oh, I don't really want to do that. Why did you cause this in the first place? This is your fault, not mine. Somebody else said, all of a sudden, I love cooking and cleaning. And one guy said,
yeah, they act like cooking and cleaning isn't really prevent them from being drafted. Like, that shit ain't gonna do shit. It's just a job. Like, cooking and cleaning is not necessary for the U.S. to keep running.
said, no, you wanted this. And that's very true. Your feminism caused this because those proposals for women joining the draft, they were all about equity and equality between the genders. That's literally what you wanted. Obviously, the point I've made so many times in this video, that video of Biden is fake. There are no firm plans to draft men or women in this country.
Like I said, we don't know. To tell the truth, the El Paso boys got shipped out more recently. They were supposed to have a lot longer vacation time, and their vacation time got cut short by like 2 weeks, and they got sent to Syria. So, and them being sent to Syria with no orders, in a sense. They weren't told their full orders, and they don't know when they're coming back. So that sounds quite serious to me, because they're not getting sent to a normal spot. They're getting sent into a war zone. So I don't really know. I'm not trying to cry war or anything, but from what I've seen, it's leading towards not a good way.
At least not right now, or that we know of, fingers crossed. But it's also not a far-off notion. Like, we watched it happen in Ukraine a few years ago. In Israel, both men and women are required to serve in the military, but I actually like that situation a little better, because they are required to join and serve their country and learn those skills regardless of whether there is a conflict or a war.
I agree that there should be some kind of enactment like that here.
Going on. In America, you are literally just the insurance policy. That's the difference. That's why I don't like it. But, the IDF, you are required to serve. And, we can laugh about these videos and laugh about the satire. But again, I really don't think it's all that funny, because we do live in a bubble, a very safe bubble. And we've lived in this bubble for several decades. But this fragile bubble remains secure thanks to the men and women who willingly choose to sign their name on the dotted line and lay down their life for this country. So those stupid TikToks of people shitting on the military and saying that they would never want to.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Like, I have a lot of military friends that are military vets. I tell you guys a story all the time. One of my guys lost 3 of his platoon mates. He is 120% disability now. He makes good money, he lives a good life, but every now and then he has trouble because that PTSD. Like, people don't truly know what the fuck PTSD is. Like, they really don't. They think, oh, I had some bad dating experience. Now I have PTSD. No, bitches. Men and women. No. This motherfucker saw 3 of his friends die in front of him horribly, and he was the only one that made it. And when he closes his eyes, he sees the faces of his teammates. That is devastating.
Join or be drafted. It should just be a reminder to thank those young people and the people in your life who have decided to serve in our military and decided to try and protect us and take this seriously. Because yes, we are currently still in our bubble, but it is a very fragile bubble, and it gets more and more fragile by the day thanks to our current government. This is not the time to be making jokes or dilly-dallying or turning a blind eye to where our country is going. This is the time to get prepared.
That's some scary chow. This is the generation that's being brought up to, that we're going to be using to defend us. War is not a joke. I don't understand why women make light of war, make light of the sacrifices that these men have made in war for them to enjoy their feminism, to enjoy their freedoms to choose not to do things. It is what it is. Please like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and I